All right. In this section, I have modified the lesson a little bit to be fit to be used on a Google document. And not only that, we're also going to use most of the questions on the Google document as well. In this part of the modified lesson, I'm going to teach the guided practice, especially the first part of the guided practice. All right, guys, after watching the whole video, we now have found that the routine looks like this. First, he wakes up and then he has breakfast. After that, he goes to school and then he has some lunch. And then he went home and then have dinner. Okay? When you take a look at it, when you divide the information, just the general points, you will realize that it's easier now. Okay? Now we know that he wakes up and then have breakfast, and then he go to school and then have lunch, and then he went home and then have dinner. If we want to divide it, we can actually divide it into just three parts. First part, second part, and the third part. When he wakes up, when he is still in his home, when he went to school, okay, and then when he went home, right? So I'm going to play the audio again, and then we're going to focus mostly on the first part, which is when he wakes up, okay? When he wakes up. Okay, these are the information that we need to find, okay? So when did Fred start his day? And then where did Fred usually has for breakfast? And then what did Fred sometimes has for breakfast? Do you guys remember the differences between usually and sometimes? Which one is more frequent? Which one did Fred do more? Which one did he do more? Right? That's right, Henry. That's usually, okay? Usually, sometimes. Remember that, okay? So I'm going to play the audio again, and then we're going to answer this one by one again, all right?
My name's Fred. I live in London and I'm 17 years old. I wake up at 7 and I usually get out of bed about 7:30. Then I come downstairs and have breakfast. Usually I have cereal for breakfast with orange juice, but sometimes I have toast with usually jam or honey. Then I pack my bag for school. I walk because my school's it's only
Right. Now that we have watched the waking up section, let's take a look on the three most important information. So did Fred start his day at 7:30? Is it true or false? Okay, some of you say it's 7, some of you say that it's 7:30. So what's interesting is that Fred wakes up at 7 and then he get out of bed at 7:30. Okay, what is the difference between get out of bed and wakes up? Hmm? Right, wakes up means that you are no longer asleep, okay? But you maybe are still on your bed. Maybe you're playing with your phone, maybe you're reading books, which is better, right? Maybe you're just we say collecting your soul in Bahasa Indonesia. In Indonesia, we love to say that we're just collecting our soul before starting our day, for example. So which one that is closely related to start his day? Is it wake up or get out of bed? Yes, it is get out of bed. So this is a true statement. Okay? Starting your day means that you're already out of your bed. Okay? You're already walking, you're already ready to go start your day. Okay? Now, what about the second one? Fred usually has something for breakfast. What is it? So he has something that is usually and something else that is sometimes. Yes. So he usually has some cereal for breakfast. So most of the time he has cereal for breakfast. Okay. What about his second choice. What is his second choice? Yes, he has some toast, right? With peanut butter or jelly sometimes. So yeah, do you guys love toast? What kind of breakfast do you guys have? We I'm in Indonesia, so we mostly have very heavy food for breakfast. We sometimes have what we call as yellow rice. It's a very savory food. It's very complete as well. We have some yellow rice, which are basically rice that are cooked with some spices. We also have some boiled eggs with sambal, which is Indonesian traditional Indonesian chili. We also add some tempeh as well on that. So it's very delicious. I'm not kidding with you guys. It's very delicious. Now, for Fred, he wakes up with a cereal most of the time, but sometimes he have some toast. So that's how we listen by listening closely to the details. Remember that in the beginning of this session, I told you that there are two types of listening, okay? One is listening for general information, and the other is listening by looking for details. This is when we find the routine in general, when we find the general flow of the audio, that is the general listening, okay? We also called it the top-down listening, okay? The top-down listening. Now, what about looking for details? So after doing a top-down listening, we often do the bottom-up listening. The bottom-up listening basically listening for details. Okay, so the second thing that we do is the bottom-up listening. We do the bottom-up listening second because we need to know some important parts first. For example, we know now that the audio can be divided into three parts. Now we can focus on the first part, okay, on just the first part. And we find that some of the most important points are this. So when you're listening, keep questioning yourself, keep asking about the details, because this is exactly the same with the strategy that we have learned before, which is the skim and scan reading technique. But this time, we're doing this on a listening section, okay? Now, what I want you guys to do is to find the second section, which is to go to school, okay? I'm going to show you the question that you need to find by using the bottom-up listening.